The daily dose of dopamine. I'm Susan Scarlett, and that guy is Robert Cochran.
Well, hi, how are you? That was gorgeous. Anybody who's been watching Fire saying she can't interrupt her voice, that was pro.
Talk right over that computer voice. That was fun.
I
See, she's educable at this age.
love
Holy
that.
cow! What did you didn't ask me how I am, did you?
Well, what you know what? Before I even do that, I just want to comment immediately. That color, is it purple you're wearing, or is it a very dark
It's
blue?
purple.
It
Yes,
looks really nice on
you're sweet. Oh, thank you. That makes
you.
me happy. It's a
We,
favorite
we
color.
all have colors that work for us. That one works for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some cosmic meaning to purple, but yeah. Um,
In my realm, it has to do with Prince, but that's just my
You have
thing.
to explain that to me someday.
Yeah, Prince is out there. He's ethereal. I will note that I was enjoying a John Baptiste moment this morning. Your song
Oh,
that you brought to me, "Freedom," continues to resonate in wonderful ways, and it just, boy, it highlights what we know already about the effect of music on many levels. And what I love to do is kind of deconstruct a song. And I know sometimes a song grabs me and I don't want to wonder why. And I started listening to it and I thought, oh, you know what I hear here? I hear Herbie Hancock, who's one of my favorite jazz artists. And he has this song called Cantaloupe Island. That's a very famous Blue Note record. And that became a hip hop record in the 90s called Cantaloupe. And that was a favorite song. And this song, Freedom, has notes or hints of it, kind of in the steal like an artist type way. And I'm not accusing John Baptiste of anything. We all have roots. That's all I know.
no, no, no. Sure.
It has that lovely feel to it in places. And so I listened to the John Baptiste song, the Cantaloupe song by
Wow.
Three, and then Herbie in a
Wow.
row. And it
You
was a
walk back through
wonderful,
history.
yeah,
How fun.
yeah, it was a fun etymology of music.
That's very cool. That's very cool. I was reading one of the um, writings, the class writings from the day one group about metamorphosis. And she's talked before about metamorphosizing backwards, which was such an interesting concept. And
Right.
she literally was walking backwards in this thing into the cave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made me think of the one time I can remember walking backwards when I tripped and fell flat and hit the back of my skull, knocked myself out, saw stars, gave myself a concussion. So I was picturing this little caterpillar walking backwards into this cave and hoping they didn't kick it didn't.
Right. Was that in Hawaii
It
or was
was, yeah, it was my first of four concussions that I gave myself within a period of a couple of years, none of which were actually related to Parkinson's. Hard to imagine, but
right?
two of them were on a boat and the boat went like this, and anyway.
But all of which are significant. I've had one, I'm reasonably sure, undiagnosed concussion when I played football. Based on what people have described concussions as feeling like, I'm like, yeah, I think that's what it was. That was just not something people talked a lot about at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but concussions have a residual effect, and there are studies about the effect of them over time, including the relationship to Parkinson's. But as you said, you had Parkinson's before you got these concussions, so um,
Yes. What I remember is that if you've had one, you're more susceptible. So you get a little less of a knock the next time and maybe wouldn't have given you a concussion. But if you sloshed around once, you're gonna be a little bit more sloshable and on and on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that it's funny you use that word slosh. What I felt like, I can remember this because I was, all of 16, 17 years old, but it felt like my brain was loose. And that's
Well,
what I could feel,
okay.
you
So
know.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and it came from a direct shot. There's this exercise or a drill in football, very brutal drill called bull in the middle, where one player gets in the middle and is surrounded by X number of players, in our case, eight. And everyone's given a number, and you, as the person in the middle, are to put your head on a swivel, as they say, turn, and the coach is going to call a number and blow the whistle, and that person's going to run at you at full speed, and your job is to knock them back. Well, if you turn the wrong way, someone's going to go smack dab into you, which this huge Pacific Islander player named Kakoa Wan, about
Really?
6 foot and 245 pounds, did. I turned the wrong way and he took a shot right there. He didn't do anything. He did as the coaches instructed. And back then we didn't know about head to head contact being a problem. And yeah, I was not out, but yeah.
And afterwards, like
Yeah,
that.
I had to go. I had to leave practice. I mean, I just didn't feel right, and like I said, my head felt like it was sloshing. They, they kind of gave you the rub some grass on it type thing. I was out playing again the next day. I didn't go see a doctor or anything. I didn't get a scan. Um, but that's just the nature of that at that time.
Does that explain you? Maybe that explains you,
Sure.
right? Hey, I wanted to reflect on yesterday. That
Yeah,
was just so cool when we had the few people from the Jam for Joy that could stick around and play and do a dose with
and
us.
we'll point this video to that. So please keep going.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. One of my friends had said to me that she heard me refer to doing an improv game when I was in a moment that I needed to relax. And then it really worked. And it was a whole new application. And I just named the game. And she was like, would you play that sometime? And then yesterday you said, you guys want to play a game? Let's play Top That. And it was such a perfect choice. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So what I wanted to communicate was how cool it is for me that my college roommate saw something I put on Facebook that you and I did here in honor of Parkinson's and Day One and Yaks, and referenced those programs, and so it's like come full circle.
Yeah.
I that connecting piece was just really very meaningful.
I love that, and I love that people are seeing the applicability, and I continue to hear people outside of Parkinson's without any relation going, oh, that could really help me. I You may have heard, very kindly got invited by John Hurley and his crew to be the keynote speaker at their festival this year, which I'm very honored by.
Yes.
And immediately when I spoke with the coordinator just minutes ago, she said, your work is not just for people with Parkinson's. And I'm glad to hear you say that. And I'll let other people, yeah, drive that conversation. That's fine. I'm bookable. I'm out there now for keynote speeches and such. And I wanted to end on this to say, how would you like to play right now a game of What's Not Wrong with Your Life? Because I think that's very apropos and it's a gift for our friends. And I'll give you the option of going first. I have a timer. Would you like to be the asker or the receiver? And we'll go 30 seconds apiece.
Um, 30 seconds apiece. Okay. Um, let me ask first,
Okay,
just
very good.
because yeah, yeah. Robert, what's not wrong with your life?
The color purple.
What's not wrong with your life?
I had a great breakfast this morning.
What's not wrong with your life?
I love cats, and there's several that seem to be visiting us.
What's not wrong with your life?
A baby bird laid an egg. I not kid you not, or I should say, a bird laid an egg in a nest on our door, and we're seeing the circle of life.
Oh, what's not wrong with your life?
I just drank some delicious tea before this meeting. That's 30 seconds. Okay, now I
Yeah.
bring it back the other way. Susan, what's not wrong with your life?
The color purple apparently works quite well for me.
What's not wrong with your life?
This glass of water that's near me is important to me.
What's not wrong with your life?
I just saw two birds of prey fly by my window. That's fun every day.
What's not wrong with your life?
Mm, I have a very special family.
What's not wrong with your life?
I know the meaning of love.
Wow. And that is the game of What's Not Wrong with Your Life and today's daily dose.